excited as well. My name is Yael. I've been a team lead at restaurants for the past 2.5 years, restaurants. And I'm here to share my journey of becoming a team lead and what I've learned from it. And it could be valuable to you if you are a team lead, if you're planning on becoming one, if you're a developer, if you're an analyst, and really for everything in life. And I know that it sounds really big, but I actually use it in my day-to-day, in my personal life as well. So I hope you'll find this useful. So my story starts at 2012, my first job as a developer. For some of you, it might seem like a long time ago, but yeah. So, and I came to this job, and a few months passed, and I realized that I really didn't like what I was doing. And I said that maybe software isn't for me at all. But I really did like to code, so I said I might as well give it a second chance. And my second job I really loved. So, the job definition was clearly the same, but these were clearly two different jobs, right? Because one I really didn't like, and the second one I liked. So what made the difference for me were two main things. The first was the quality of engineering, meaning focusing more on design and less on hacks. And the second thing was getting things out to production quickly and doing it for the long term as well as the short term. So that was quality of engineering. And the second thing that made a difference for me was the autonomy. I was listened to and trusted, and when I found something that I thought could be done better, then I would have the back to do it. And that led to me feeling ownership and wanted to change things for the better all the time. And an environment that had these two were, to me, as a developer, a dream environment. And so as time went by, and I was a developer for a few years, and I met with different people, and I moved myself between different teams. And what I found was that this is not trivial. This does not happen in all teams. And to me, this was a game changer, right? It made me love my job. So I wanted to promote it. And because this is mostly cultural, then I thought the best way to promote it will be to become a team lead. And so I did. And after I became a team lead, I realized that these two things are part of what make great teams as well. So up until now, I told you my why I became a team lead, and here's what happened once I became one. So at 2021, I became a team lead for the first time. I came to this new group. I wasn't a developer there or anything. And when you come to somewhere new, you always see things that could be done better, right? It always happens. So I took this paper and I wrote a few notes to myself. I made a list of all the things that I saw that could be done better. I'll share some of it with you. So first of all, the definition of ownership for developers was really different than what I thought should be. And there were a lot of technical things and cultural things. There were a lot of flaky tests, and the feedback loop was very long, and the shared standards nearly didn't exist. And this happened because this group grew from being 12 people to 50 people in under a year. It's really hard to maintain some development culture during this big growth. So it makes sense. Anyway, this was the status, and I wrote everything down. And as I started getting to know more people, I heard them complaining about some of these things too. So I said, okay, that's cool. It's not only me, so let's try to make it better, right? So I started with a few small things, mostly technical. I did this POC, and also I started trying to move a few cultural things around. I created this dev standards meetings and talked to people and tried to build plans. and then more people came along and were part of this effort. Some of the developers, the tech lead, he helped push cultural things. And my manager also helped push cultural things, and he took the POC that I did and gave it to someone from a different team, and he finished the project, and things were moving, but actually my feeling was that things were getting a bit better, but they weren't as I expected it to be. And I was disappointed. That's really the truth. And I stopped to think, why am I disappointed? Because things are moving, right? But they weren't moving like I was expecting them to move. And so what I understood was that I came with a list to these people. And they picked one thing, right? They either picked something that was most easy for them or most important to them. I don't know, but it's not the point. The point is that I wasn't the one to choose. If I would have come with one thing out of my big list, then we could have, I had their back, but we could have changed one thing that I thought that was most important. So that brings me to my first lesson, which is the 5-25 rule. Does any of you know it? Okay. So what it says is that if you have a list of 25 things you want to get done, prioritize it, pick the top 5, and here's the hard part, so listen. You have to focus only on the top 5 things, right? You have to put all the others aside, and that's the hardest part for me. Every time, each and every time, put the other 20 aside and don't touch them. And that will get the chances of you finishing these 5s and getting them done effectively, get the chances up a lot higher than if you would have tried to deal with the 25 things with a big list like I did. So that was the first lesson, prioritize and focus, actually, right? And I think that you can practice this, or you can do this in anything in your life. It can be in tasks, day-to-day tasks, but it can also be in choosing if you want to have like 50 friends or 2 friends and get and be with them in a really strong relationship. It can be anywhere in your life. But if you don't focus, you do things less effectively. So that's my first lesson. And moving on to 2022, so there was a really big reorg, and we had formed new teams, and I got a completely new team. Most of the people in the team I have not worked with before. So it was built out of 3 students and 5 more people, and I was committed to coding 50% of my time, and we all were writing to the same code base, but we didn't have any shared standards. And we also had a tight schedule, of course. So that's about how I was feeling at that time, and I tried to do, to do like what I had to do. I didn't have time to deal with growth of people or stuff like that, so I was just trying to survive. And what happened was that one person came up to me from the team, let's call him Shmulik, and he asked for more responsibility. And I'm not gonna say no to that. I wanted to make it happen. And also, I had a lot on my back, right? So that was how I felt. I just said that, and so I said, okay, I have a lot on my back. He wants to take it, so it's a win-win. Let's see how we do that. So what I did was that I gave him this project to lead and 2 people to mentor, and we made it official, and we told those 2 people, and we told everyone that he was leading the project. But what actually happened in the day-to-day was that these 2 people from my team kept coming to me when they needed to prioritize something, or when they were just used to it, right? So they kept coming to me, and Shmulik said, you said that I was gonna mentor these 2 people, but you only said that. It's not happening, and he was right. And so I thought the answer to what I need to do here is really easy, right? have to let go. It's doesn't there's no question about what I have to do. But how can I let go without trusting this person? I didn't know Shmulik. I told you that. Remember, this is a new team. I didn't know these people. How can I let go? I'm responsible for these people's growth. I'm responsible for the quality of the code. I'm responsible for the timeline, right? How can I just pass it on to someone that I don't know? I can't. That's the truth. So what I did was to open this conversation with him. Like, I'm an Israeli, so that's what I do. I had opened a conversation with Shmulik, and the two action items that came out of it were, the first one was that I would go and tell the two people he was supposed to mentor that he's their go-to, not me. I mean, I'm still your manager. I told them that we will still have weekly one-on-ones. If you need me, I'm here, okay? But please try to go to him first in everything that had to do with the project. And the second thing was that we tried to build that trust. So how did we do that? We said we would start with daily meetings, just the two of us, and we'll see how that goes. So we had daily meetings in which we just talked about quality, we talked about prioritization, we talked about the people we were supposed to mentor, and then I got some kind of control, but the important thing that happened here, and was for the long term, was that I actually built trust with this person. I got to know him, we built a mutual language, and that enabled me to trust him and to know who I'm standing, who's in front of me. And that led me to being able to let go. And so those dailies became bi-weeklies, and pretty quickly we moved to talking on demand whenever we felt like we needed it. So that leads me to my second lesson, which is build trust, but do it explicitly. We all know that we need to build trust, right? We all know that trust is an important part of the relationship, but building trust explicitly was what was missing to me. And in order to do that, you have to have hard conversations with people. And when you build trust, you can let go gradually. So I knew that I had to let go, right? That was the easy part. What I was supposed to do, I knew that I had to let go, but letting go gradually was what I learned. That it's not binary, you don't just let go. You can do it gradually by building the trust. So if I recap, first of all, we talked about priority and focus. So remember the 5-25 rule. And remember, the most important thing I want you to take out of this thing is that if you don't prioritize, someone will do it for you. Or if you don't prioritize and someone will not do it for you, then most chances are that things will not get done effectively. So that's the first thing. The other two lessons were to build trust explicitly. You have to do active job to build the trust. You can't just expect it to happen. And letting go should be done gradually. I want to tell you one more thing. Knowing the path is not as easy as walking the path, right? Knowing is something that's passive, and walking is something that's active. So knowing and understanding are not as easy. Knowing is not as easy as understanding, I meant to say. And when you walk your path, you will have challenges. It's part of walking the path. It's what it is. When you do, you should stop and change your perspective, try to look from a different angle, and recalculate your steps, and that's where you grow. That's where you grow and learn new things. So that's what I did. I'm still growing every day. I'm still learning, but I think that I learned a lot from the things that I went through. And I hope that walking some of my path with me, as you did just now, will shorten your path. And I want to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you. And one more thing. It was really short, so I gave you a glimpse. If any of you feels that this is interesting, please come and talk to me. I have plenty of more stories, and I would like to hear yours. Thank you.